Hi, this is Peggy Rojas, host of Viviendo una Vida en Balance. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of #NoFilterFriday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Pageant pals.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Jess.
And welcome back to another episode of Crowned and Dangerous. Actually 2 weeks ago, we talked about mean void board comments, basically where people go online and go on these online forums and talk crap about contestants, or I guess maybe they say positive things, but we read the really mean ones with Gina Miliaca.
Oh God. Internet trolls are my favorite kinds of people because they do not care.
It was really fun to respond to some of them. I wonder if any of them listened or if they even had anything to say.
I was literally about to chime in and be like, if you were one of the internet trolls, let us know. But I'm like, nobody's gonna come forth and admit they're an internet troll.
No, I feel like I trolled them back a little bit. Honestly, that stuff, like, it used to really bother me. Now I just laugh at it. I think as you grow up a little bit, I mean, they wouldn't know because they write those things. But I think as you mature through the organization, you realize that those people are just sitting behind their computers and you're the one who's actually on stage doing the things, making a difference in your community. So that's
True.
the tea on my end. Sorry, not sorry.
That's the tea. That's the tea. Yeah, that
like
was a
siren bells.
That was a super like on Jersey Shore. Oh, yeah. Last episode was a fun episode. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go back and listen to episode 6 with Gina Miliaca, because it was super fun. But we've been up to other things. This past weekend, Maddie and I went apartment hunting, which was an experience.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. And the thing is, we're moving into it. Actually, you'll be listening to this on Thursday. So the next day, Friday, we'll be moving in. But we saw a few different places, and Jess was the orchestrator of everything. Basically, Jess just get things done, and I just show up, honestly. That's how our relationship works.
Yes. I'm okay with that.
It was, can you imagine if I tried to micromanage you, though? And I was like, Jessica,
oh my God.
Jessica, what are you doing?
Maddie, I would literally probably, I would live at home for the rest of my life. I could not move in with you.
Jessica, did you do this yet, Jessica? The podcast?
Oh my God. I would, the podcast. Don't forget about the podcast.
Yeah, Jessica.
Do it for the people.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh,
but we went apartment shopping. That was quite the experience.
I'm stoked. I'm stoked to move in. We're moving in this weekend, which is crazy. And I spent way too much money at Target for stuff that I may or may not need.
That's why I never go to Target, because I never come out without anything.
Ugh,
honestly,
God,
does Target really have that good of prices?
No.
Okay. Exactly.
That's something that I discovered. I was looking at bath towels, and I'm like, why is one bath towel $20?
Is it really soft?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. Just use one and never wash it. And then sell it on eBay. People do
Just get one really fluffy towel. Do you want to share it?
Oh my gosh. Yes, we'll just throw it between our bathrooms for the rest of our lives.
Ew. Oh my God. Apartment hunting was fun, but that was a blast.
Yeah. Speaking of blasts, Jessica, again, over here, like I said, she literally does everything, and I just show up when I need to be there. But our new merch is available. Just talk about it because you designed it all. I'm pretty sure you did.
Oh, yeah, our merch. Yes, I did.
Yeah. Or I just tell Jessica what I like, or I say, hey, put this. Like first runner-up club, I'm like, hey, put first runner-up club on there. And she's like, okay. And then she comes up with 6 options, and I'm just like, you know what, Jessica? Gosh, Jessica's literally the most motivated person I've ever met in my life.
I really don't know where it comes from, though.
Yeah,
because
I'm so lazy.
I would.
Like, you're great. And I'm so lazy.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Aww.
Thanks. It's an
Aww.
avocado.
Oh my god. Should we just do honesty hour and just pick out the things we like and hate about each other?
The things we like and hate about each other, so we know this before we move in together this weekend.
Okay, so since I said something nice about you, I will now wait for mine. No, I'm just kidding. I won't make you do that. I know it's really hard to think of something. You know what? I'll have my mom hype myself up later. It's okay.
Okay. I'll get back to you.
You know what? I'll just go read some Voyboard comments again where everybody says that I suck.
Oh my god. Back to the merch.
Yes, our merch is available on...
Oh my god. Yeah, our merch is available on
Facebook.
Oh yeah, you can see all the designs. It's the Public House Media Store is now on TeePublic. So you can literally probably go to teepublic.com and search Crowned and Dangerous or like Pageant or something like that and find it. But the direct links are on our Facebook and Instagram pages. So if you want some pageant merch, it's so much fun.
Cheap.
I actually bought 2 stickers. I bought 2 stickers just in time for this episode. They're super cute.
Where are you putting your stickers, Jess?
I might put them on my computer.
Both?
Or on my microphone.
Ooh. You want to be just like Jessica?
Yes.
Stickers. No, but everything is super affordable.
Oh, it's super cheap. They actually, TeePublic has sales, like 30% off like all the time. So like a t-shirt's like $14, which is super cool because you're supporting our show and you can like wear your cute merch and tag us on Instagram. We'll repost you. It's just a lot of fun. So if you're interested, no pressure, but a little bit of pressure. So join the gang.
Really fun to wear too, like if you compete in pageants and stuff.
Yeah, wear it to pageant day.
Throw on your don't wear the first runner-up club on pageant day. That might give you bad luck. Wear it after if you get first runner-up, and wear it with pride because first runner-ups are really cool people.
Been there, done that. Most of the time.
We counted in the car. Jess, how many times have you been first runner-up?
I was first runner-up. Oh shoot, times? I can't remember. 4.
I know.
4 or 5.
I think you're 4. I think I'm 5.
Okay.
I remember, or you were 5 and I was 6. It was something like that.
Yeah. Oof,
God. Basically, we are the CEOs of First Runner-Up Club.
Yep. So feel free to join. Get your First Runner-Up t-shirt.
Exactly.
It's a great time. We've been talking for way too long about merch, but it's okay. We're just plugging our merch.
But this episode is called...
Wait, I have a good segue. Good segue.
Okay. Good segue.
So since our merch is now available and Christmas is coming up, you can buy your merch. You can buy our merch for your significant other or your pageant family, because today we are talking about relationships and how they relate to pageants and competing, whether that be friendships or like significant others or dating, or even your relationship with your family, and kind of how pageants roll all into that, because it's a really interesting little world that we live in, competing in pageants, that not many people understand unless you're directly inside this crazy bubble. So we wanted to kind of chat about that because we have a lot to say.
I'm sure we both, between the two of us, have so many stories.
Oof, Lord. Yeah, I have one for later.
And then save the juice of significant others right after friendships. So
I love that.
Friendships. What is the friendship dynamic between girls who become... Honestly, like, I think we were talking about this earlier before we started recording about like the term pageant friends, which we don't like it, but it's kind of what it is. Like, when you meet people through pageant, you're kind of pageant friends. Like, I would say I have like 100 pageant friends from like the 4 years I competed at Miss Wisconsin. Over 100 easily. But then there's some that make it out of the pageant friends and like they're in your everyday life. Like, obviously us, some really, like, remember my second year at Miss Wisconsin, there was a group of us that became really close. And a lot of them I do hang out with way outside of pageant stuff. And I think that's something that's really cool. Plus, you have friends in every part of the state, which is nice.
That's my favorite part. But a lot of people ask me, like, actually, we can get into this later on in significant other stuff, but, like, my boyfriend at the time would always be like, oh, like, do you have plans with your friends and stuff like this weekend? And I'm like, actually, my friends are, like, everywhere. Like, I don't have, like, my close hometown friends are, like, everywhere and anywhere too, like with jobs and work and college and stuff. But my pageant friends, I almost feel closer to now than my hometown friends. Yeah. Which is really weird.
Well, and when you go through something like competing and like crying and like the happiest parts of your life so far, I mean, let's be honest, like winning a pageant should never be the highlight of your life. But at the time, in this time of our lives, it's one of your better memories, okay? And you're sharing like either your happiest moments or your lowest moments with people. And these people see you at your best and your worst. And maybe other people don't really see that. I mean, you're putting yourself out there to be judged, to be watched by random people. And that kind of brings you together in a way. Not saying that you have to get along with everyone, because no one ever always gets along. We talked about this in another episode about like being honest. Like, yes, you will make friends. Yes, you will also meet people you don't like. The people, like Jess, we talked about this, like people like, oh no, everyone's so great, it's a sisterhood. It is. But you'll still not like your sister. Sometimes you'll still fight with them. Maybe you just don't get along. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag if you ask me.
It really is. And I don't know, like like I said, I feel like I'm closer with the friends that I've met through pageants than I am with my hometown friends, because like it's such a vulnerable thing to do. Yes. I mean, like I was going to say, you've seen each other cry. You've seen each other butt naked getting a spray tan. You've seen each other like achieve such a big goal that you've had for a long time. You've seen each other fail. And it's just like it's hard not to grow close with someone through that. And even during like those one-day pageants that you have, you still feel close to those people. But
it also depends on the person though. Because some people, I will say, are there not to make friends. They're there to show up at the beginning of the day, do the pageant, and leave. And that, I mean, that's fine. Everyone has their own motives. But if you can find people that you can confide in, if you can be honest with them, I think that's important. Like, for example, like whoever your roommate is at your state pageant, I think that those relationships either become so strong or they're just, it's not a good match. And it's hard to live with someone, but someone you can trust, you can talk to, like I said, to me, confiding in people is really important to me personally. Somebody that I can trust, somebody that I can voice my opinions to, not somebody who's really cold or, they're just here for themselves. That's always been a really big turnoff to me, because at the end of the day, most likely there's a 1 in 25, 26 chance that you will win. And there's a, a 24, 25 out of 26 or 25, percent chance that you won't. So what do you really have at the end of that day? You have the people surrounding you. And I've said this a million times. People do not remember how you placed. They remember how you made them feel.
100%.
If I could name off all my pageant friends, but I could not name off how they've placed at every pageant. Because that stuff doesn't matter at the end of the day. It really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. I think it's so weird because, like, I think at every pageant that I've been to, I've walked away with like one person that I've either never met before that now I know, or I'm closer to someone that I've known before, and those kinds of relationships are the ones that I like cherish so much, because sure, like my hometown friends and the people that I grew up with are very special to me, but there's just like this very different thing when you have a strong relationship with someone who has been through like some crazy or weird or amazing things with you. And I just think those people just, I swear that those people stick around with you. Like some girls are getting married and they have like some of their pageant sisters as like bridesmaids and stuff. And it's just, it's such a weird thing. And I feel like hometown friends just will never understand that sort of dynamic. As much as you can love your hometown friends and your childhood friends, there's nothing like your pageant sisters.
Right.
It's just a magical experience. But there are select few that you may not get close to. And that's when things can become toxic, is when your relationship turns from, you know, something happy and like supportive to something that's like, no, like you're going after my same dream, so let's cut off this friendship instead. Like that's the most frustrating thing, I think, is when someone ends a relationship to benefit themselves.
Right. And those are people that, you know, you look at it afterwards and you just don't want to be friends with them anyways. But the thing too about the pageant community is that, you know, maybe just because we're in Wisconsin, obviously I don't know how it is nationwide, but people talk and people have certain people's numbers. And, you know, what you say, how you act does travel. And people, I think word spreads very fast statewide. I really think it does. I don't think many things are secrets. It seems like if you tell one person, not saying people are untrustworthy, but like things just get out, things spread.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, we talked about this in other episodes too. Sometimes, people get rewarded when they shouldn't. Sometimes people who work the hardest never do. It really, honestly, it sucks. That's literally what it is. It sucks. But it's the people, it depends on the person too, you know, like, and how many times you've also been around the pageant circuit, because I can say, I've done some closed where I don't really become that close with any contestants, but I have so many friends that are other titles, or I see at Miss Wisconsin all the time. Right. Like those are my really close friends that I've competed with multiple times. Yep. And I think it's a maturity thing too, honestly. If you can get through that week and come out with friends, and you know, I think that's more important than any crown. Especially, I always think, what do you like? Not, I mean, you shouldn't care what other people think, but at the same time, what do you want to put forth? What do you want people to say about you?
Exactly.
You know?
And I think that's a good thing. That's just like a little key to take with you. Like, even if you're competing, and even if it has nothing to do with friendships, like, what are you doing that people admire? And like, what do you want people to think of you as? Like, if you say like, oh, Madeline Cum, like, this is what I know about her. You want it to be positive things. You want it to be something like, oh, she's like such a sweet person and she works really hard and she's always kind to everybody that she meets. Like, you know, you want people to say nice things about you. So I think it comes down to, when you're in a competitive environment, you can't let the competition get to you. And you have to remember that those girls standing beside you are ultimately, I mean, some of the most supportive people that I know in the long run. Like, the people that I've met have been so supportive of like everything that I've done. But now I'm rambling. I hate when I do that.
Well, here, I'll steer into this because this is a genuine question.
Steer me, Maddie. Help me.
Do you think, even with your close friends at MAO, do you think you're still competitive?
Oof.
Like at state, we'll say at state.
I feel like, well, of course, things this year got really weird because of like things have really changed, and like, I don't know if I was 100% like fully passionate about the job of being a state title holder.
Like this year in 2018.
Oh my god! And I just have to say, like, we're having this conversation, and Maddie is brushing her. Maddie's brushing her bangs.
I just have this part that fell out of my ponytail, and I also need to get my hair recolored. And I'm just looking, because I'm a natural dark brunette, and I'm a blonde now. So it's just, I'm just brushing it.
You look like one of those like little like 3-year-old boys that haven't gotten their hair cut yet.
Oh my gosh, my hair's
okay. I'm sorry, I got off track because that was just so darn funny.
Okay,
I almost wish that this was like. I wish that this was like a video thing.
I think we should.
I think we need to just start a YouTube channel.
I know. I think
we'll start a YouTube channel when we have our cute apartment.
Heck yes.
Oh my god, Maddie.
Okay, back to it.
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Are you do you think even with your best friends in MAO, are you competitive?
Oh, that's right. In past years, I think I was. Like before I grew up a little bit. Like,
Okay.
yes. But recently, no, I feel like.
Because like if anymore, though. It's easy to say no.
I know. But even then, like, I feel like even at our state pageant this year, if like one of my super close friends were to do really well, I would genuinely be happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, you know, because like if it's someone who is truly like genuine and someone who has worked so hard for that and who has put like an arm and a leg into this thing, then I would truly be happy for them.
Would you still be happy if, say, like, they fell during swimsuit, they ran off the stage during their talent, they wore, like, or, like, did something horrible in evening gowns, something really offensive for on-stage question, and they still won? Would you still be happy for them? That's what I'm saying.
Oh, but you're saying, like, so even if they were, like, a really good friend, but they did really awful at the pageant, would I still be happy for them?
Well, that was just like a random scenario I threw out.
Like if I feel like I did better and they still won or something.
Well, it's something that's like kind of like are you competitive with people? Like, are you like, I need not to beat them, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, even that's like, would you be like mad?
I don't think I would describe myself that way. I don't know, because I've never been like.
Jessica's dodging the question. She doesn't want to be mean. That's what it is.
No, like I'm having a really hard time with this because I'm trying to think of like past local titles and stuff that I've won. I mean, I've only won 2, but or like past pageants that I've competed in where I was like first runner up or there was someone else that won over me. I don't think I was ever like felt like they weren't. What the heck? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's so hard. What I want to hear your perspective.
You didn't really.
You need to stop. I don't know what to say, Maddie. I know.
You want to be mean. Jessica doesn't want to be mean. Everyone. That's what it is.
That's just not my nature. But at the same time, though, I don't think like I'm a super competitive person in general, though.
See, and I think I am pretty competitive in general. I don't know about Miss America because it's a whole different animal, but like growing up dancing, I was really competitive and like I was such a ham. I always had to be the best. I was so extra. Like I was that annoying girl. Like you sing Glee, I was the Rachel Berry that like always needed to like be in the front and set. Like that was me growing up. And then as I grew up, I kind of realized that I don't really like that anymore. Like certain things.
That's where I want to.
Like Instagram, yeah, I like, you know, I think I come off different on Instagram, but like like, I don't know, I just don't feel the need. Like I've told Jess this, like sometimes I'm like, I don't like walking into places by myself or like even like little things like that. Like you would, like my personality from how when I was younger and how I grew up, you just kind of learn, I guess, through MAO. Like it's not really about being in the spotlight anymore. Like I think when you come into MAO, you're like, oh, like I'm on stage, like this is my moment, and it still is, but you're kind of fighting for a cause that's bigger than you know. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like
for sure.
You know,
because you think of it, and a pageant is one day. That's like one night of your life, and if you win, that's an entire year or more. You know, so it's like your time in the limelight is very short compared to the time that you need to be like giving yourself and like emptying your cup for other people.
Right. And I think when I say yes, I am very competitive, but I also can tell you, like being brutally honest, most of the times I've been upset after a pageant is because I feel like I let people down. Like every time I've cried, I don't cry that often, but every time I've cried after a pageant, which has probably been like a few times, I feel that I let the people like who have helped me and put so much time into me down, because I'm like, and I think too, it's that, and it's kind of like, why couldn't they see like this message that I wanted? And I think, and then back to like 2 episodes ago when we talked about my bare back and my blue hair, it was so frustrating because people flat out told me that I was losing pageants because of that. And I was like, why can't people see the bigger picture, the message, whatever.
Right.
So that was frustrating. So like I said, I don't like letting people down. That's a really big thing to me. It's not like
I agree with
putting
that.
myself out there. It's like all these people have helped me, It's
right.
not a dance.
And I feel the same way. Right. And I feel the same way too. And I feel like I definitely feel that. I mean, I've lost more pageants than I've won. And I feel like every time
more pageants than they won.
Oh yeah. I mean, I hope,
Yeah, which is
like
thing, I think.
that really helps you learn about yourself a lot and what you can improve on. But during those times that I've lost, I have definitely, I can really relate to that because I mean, you have an entire village behind you. You have your friends, you have your family, you have your directors, you have your board. I mean, people that come to support you and watch you. And I mean, they've invested so much time and energy and money into you being successful that like, if you don't do well, I feel so guilty for some reason for that. Like my first year at Miss Wisconsin, when I was working really hard and trying to do like my absolute best, and I still didn't make top 10. And I was like, wow, like not even for myself, but for the people that helped me get there, I just felt like I was just like really letting down. But at the end of the day though, if I think about it, and if I thought about if I took a girl to Miss Wisconsin, or if like my sister or somebody was competing and they didn't do as well as they had liked, I would still be so darn proud of them. And I think that's like the really beautiful thing about pageant families is that regardless of how you do, there's still people that support you because they believe in your mission and they believe in your talents and your capabilities. But yeah, I definitely have felt like I've let people down, and that's the most upsetting part, I think, of losing.
And like my Rapids team has been there with me all 4 years of competing. Like, and like Katie was your director too. Like Katie just did so much for me. Like that woman, like just did everything for me. And then Sally, who is my most recent title, like she believed in my message and everything so hard for me. Like she, so like to me, when it's like you come so close, but you don't get it, it's like, it's frustrating. It's hard. You feel like these people, directors volunteer, like they don't get paid for this. And like they take time off their jobs and their work to come watch you and help you and, do all these things for you. And like, you just feel like you let them down. But this is getting really sad.
Exactly.
So we should change.
I know. Now I'm all depressed and stuff. I think we should, long story short from all this, I feel like the biggest thing to know is that regardless of how you perform at a pageant, your village is going to be behind you 110%. And if they aren't, then they're not the village that you should be with.
Right.
Like, I mean, we can segue into families a little bit too. Because I know your mom loves pageants and I think it's so cute.
Loves them.
Yeah. And I know, I mean, my family has also been very supportive, but at the same time, they stay far in the background. And I'm okay with that, but because they're still supportive of what I do. And if they're not, like, that sucks because I'm still going to do it.
Right.
I don't know. Family relationships and pageants are really weird.
Yeah. I'm going to try and be short on this so we can get to our good juice. But,
yes.
Yeah, my mom loves them. I think my sister gets frustrated too because she realizes how much of a crapshoot they are. And she's pretty involved. Like I feel like she knows who everyone is, and I feel like people generally kind of know who she is. And she volunteers with the Rapids pageant every year. She's a pageant mom. She's really gotten into it. And my dad,
your dad cracks me up.
He comes to stuff if he can. It's not really his thing. He doesn't agree with the scoring, which I mean, I'm right with him there. And he thinks they're all a crapshoot. Sure. And he thinks though that you learn valuable skills. I mean, it's fair. I have a very vanilla, family relationship sort of thing. My dad's happy I'm done. My mom's sad that I'm done. Meg doesn't really care, I think. but who knows?
I know. It's really strange. Like when I first got involved too, my family was like, "What the heck are you doing?" Because it's like a whole different world. It's something that is a little bit taboo. Like people don't understand it 100%. So I think my family was very hesitant, but and I mean, I've told you this before, Maddie, and some people know this, but the first title that I ever won, nobody was there. Like none of my family was there, none of my hometown friends, like nobody could be there. Which is okay. I mean, I have 4 younger siblings that also have things going on, so it's fair. But since then, I mean, they've always been very, very supportive. So I think it just comes down to making sure that you surround yourself with people who are going to be supportive of you. I mean, if you have a dream, people should support you regardless. There's always going to be people who won't, but I think family dynamic is important. Friendships are important. And relationships with significant others are also very strange, but important.
I just thought of a fun little to-do. Name like one really great friendship moment that you've had over competing, like a really great moment that you'll always remember, and then name one where it was like really rude and people were really rude, or like it was a bad experience.
That's tricky. I feel like one I've had a lot of good friendship moments, more good friendship moments than bad ones, I think.
Right.
Actually this year at Miss Wisconsin, Susan was my roommate. And if you haven't listened to that episode, I'm going to plug it right now. But Susan was my roommate and I was just an anxious mess that whole week. Like I've always been very anxious. But I was so anxious to the point where like I'd wake up and I'd be like panicking and crying in the morning. And so she would make the effort. She was like, okay, we're going to carve out like 20 minutes of our morning and we're going to do some like yoga and deep breathing. And so she literally took time out of like getting ready in the morning to help me feel better, which is just like, it's a true testament to who Susan is. But I mean, you're going to find genuinely, truly kind people like that will support you and help you during the difficult times. So that's one of my favorite moments that I can think of recently. Bad ones?
Like a negative experience.
Negative one? That one I'd have to think about. I probably have one, but I can't think of one.
No one's ever said anything mean to you at a pageant?
I'm sure people have said mean things behind my back. Probably.
I feel like my happy
I don't think I've directly had like a bad moment with somebody. Like nothing that was like super rude that I can think of.
I remember, well, my happy moments are probably sometime during my Miss Lacrosse year, just because Oktoberfest is incredible. Like I can't even describe it. Just the nicest people and everything. Otherwise, when I came off my talent this year at state, the song just meant so much to me. It wasn't even like, oh, my performance was amazing. It was just the song was really about how like the year before I just kind of like lost hope in myself and was, sad because I'm just like, what am I even doing? And people, saying the social media thing just kicked you in the butt. So it came, the song is I Don't Know My Own Strength by Whitney Houston. It's a great song. Mm-hmm. But the song just, it's about testing your limits, and that really meant a lot to me this past year. And Sally picked it out, and it meant a lot to me. Otherwise, my third year, even though my third year was a total train wreck, I had the best relationship with my roommate, Caitlin Ray. She's now Katie Kimball. Oh, yeah. She's got married. Oh my God, she was just so great. She's just the best. I miss her so much. But it's little moments. Otherwise, I've had a lot. Krista Brame, she's 3 years older than me, and we're from the same hometown, but we didn't become close until Miss America. And Zoe and I've had some great moments. April, so that's great. Yeah. But I do think we should segue into my bad. I'll tell you my bad one.
Do you have some bad ones? Because I wish I could think of a bad one right now.
My first year, I remember I came off from, I don't know if it was talent, I don't know if it was what it was, but I came off the stage and one of the contestants told me that I did bad or I didn't sound very good or something like that. And I remember Sarah Newton, her and we became friends that year, and she was so mad. And that's why her nickname, this is so cheesy, but her nickname to me is, or I call her Mama Bear and she calls me Baby Cub, because she told Abby, her director, she was like, I just wanted to really I was so mad at like that girl for saying that to Maddie because it was my first year. I was 18 years old and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe people are this mean. And then this year after my onstage question, a girl was like, yeah, it sounded like you didn't know what you were talking about. And I was like, don't remember asking for your opinion, but oh well. It's things like that where it's like just like
just little petty
that
things.
People don't think. Yeah, it's things like that. But I'm just kind of like, whatever. And it was like after top like, 5 too, and it was a girl.
Oh no,
not in the top 5. So I was like, I don't know if she was just like mad or if she was just trying to be rude, but it was uncalled for. So just be
competition.
Kind, people remember.
Yeah, competition also gets the best of people sometimes, and like
does.
I feel like your brain kind of turns into mush during a pageant, and you just like go into competition mode and you just do what you have to do. And if anybody gets in your way, like people get a little bit weird.
Testy. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. A little testy.
But it's time for the juice.
Time for the juice.
Others. So for us,
pageant boyfriends.
Yeah. Yes. For us, pageant boyfriends. Not for everyone, but for some. Yes.
No.
Pageant boyfriends.
Pageant boyfriends.
Oh gosh. I feel like you should start out. Jessica she had like a stable 3-year relationship. That consumed like her
past tense
pageant. Yeah,
oh
down
god.
the drain. But yeah,
so he's down the drain.
I see it.
So the pageant boyfriend is a very interesting breed. So okay, when I first started competing, like in 2014, my senior year of high school, I was like just like kind of seeing this guy. It wasn't really serious, but like he came to my first pageant and it was a mess, and I was like, I don't know, it was just really embarrassing. But
did he tell you how good you did?
Yeah, it was like, disgusting.
Jessica, I loved your liver disease awareness platform.
I loved your awful talent. I loved your onstage question. No. But when I won my first title, literally, okay, the night that I won my first title, this guy messages me on Snapchat because I posted like a crown and sash picture on my Snapchat. He messages me and he's like, hey, congratulations. Like, do you want to go out sometime? And I was like, who are you? What do you think you're doing?
But you had him on Snapchat though, right?
Yeah, I did because this is a situation though, because at this time, this gentleman had ghosted me, like 2 months prior to that. So like we had like, you know, been hanging out, had conversations, all this stuff. So we had each other on Snapchat, whatever. And then he ghosted me like crazy. So I was like a strong, independent woman preparing for my pageant, whatever. I won. He slides back in and says, congratulations, like, whatever, I shouldn't have ghosted you. And I was like, no, you shouldn't have ghosted me in the first place. But now that I'm successful, you don't deserve me. But we still ended up dating.
I swear.
Yeah.
Honestly, before you continue, I could not tell you, and I'm not being conceited about this at all, but like in high school, I was a total hot mess. And like,
same.
This forced me to pay attention to myself and get myself on a glow up. Since my glow up, you would not believe people who made fun of me in high school have Facebook messaged me, asked me for a date, like to go on a date, asked me for my phone number, all of these things. And I'm like, do you not remember? You used to pick on me during class, and I would like run down the hallway after class. You know, because I was like, didn't want to be tormented.
Right.
So those people are just, they make me so mad.
I hate them. And I think it's funny because, this guy and we dated for 3 years after that.
Wait, that was him? The Snapchat one?
Yes,
oh,
Maddie.
I thought you Facebook messaged him.
I also did that. That was in the very beginning, though, before he ghosted me. Yeah, you know, that relationship was not built on good things to begin with. But
years.
I know, but now I'm on a new slate. I'm 22. We're moving into our new apartment in a new city, so we're doing great. I'm
going to monitor you. You're on probation.
Okay.
I'll pick your dates for you from now on.
I'm actually fine with that.
That's why I literally never date anyone because it's just too much.
It's freaking exhausting.
You have to wait to find the right one and the good one. Not someone who goes after you after your glow up. It's okay. I've learned it too.
Yeah. But during this time, so he messages me the night that I win, right? We hang out a little bit later, but now I'm in like Miss Wisconsin prep mode. So I'm like, you know, working out, doing like mock interviews and all this stuff, doing a bunch of appearances, working on my platform. So I'm busy. So I like can't commit a whole lot of time to this guy because I have this other goal that I'm working toward that was around before he even showed up. But the thing was, he came to like every pageant. He was like, this is so cool what you're doing, like really proud of you, you're doing great. And I think that's what really helped, honestly, is having someone that was supportive, like that wasn't my family or friends. And I feel like pageant boyfriends are so invested, it's almost disgusting. Like, I know girls that have been in relationships for a really long time and their boyfriends have been around through it all. And I'm like, oh boy, that's way too much commitment.
Right. I think, yeah, I'm very selective in who I bring into the pageant realm. I truthfully don't really let any guys come to my pageants just because, A, I'm trying to be focused. B, I get so awkward with people meeting my family. It's like one of my weird things. I probably should like go to therapy for it, but I just like, it's to me like I think out of everything I'm very independent.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to make it sound like I'm so independent, but like I am, and I don't want to come off as not caring about other people, but I do what I need to do. Like, this is a certain way how I do it. I really don't want to have to worry about somebody else during this time.
Right.
And I mean, if that's being selfish, then I'm being selfish. I'm 22. Like, let me live my life.
Right.
But I mean, I guess I could say I've like gone on dates and like maybe casually dated throughout my years of MAO. Like, obviously I was in college for 4 years and I did MAO for 4 years. So it literally was all throughout my college years. And
I have to ask you, like, what were these guys' responses to when you would say, or they would find out that you did pageants?
Well, I'm trying to think. Some were from my hometown. I really hope nobody's listening from any of those guys are listening to this. They'll probably know who they are once I get more into detail. Some are from my hometown, so they knew I did it. They followed me on Instagram, Facebook. They thought it was really cool. But, and then some were ones I met at school in lacrosse, and they thought it was cool. Like, I told them a little bit about it, but I've never been somebody that's talked about Miss America, like just brought it up to people. I always wait for them to ask, because I think there's nothing worse when people just talk about themselves the entire time. Obviously, we're doing a podcast, so like that's okay. But like in general conversation, when you're out at a bar, whatever you're doing, like I just never really bring it up. So I think that's helped me a lot too, just because I don't ever say, the motto I kind of say is Miss America didn't define me, I defined it. So just to me, it's something that I do. It's not who I am, but I mean, it's also, I think, maybe caused some issues just because I'm busy and I'm just not I'm not a clingy person, and
same.
People wanted more from me, and I'm just like, I just can't give it to you. I'm not at a time where I want to give so much of myself. And as we were talking about like 10 minutes ago about losing and how you lose more pageants than you win, there was this one guy, and who knows if he's listening, but
I hope he is.
I know. That would be something else. But he has never really like experienced loss. I'm not saying that losing a pageant is true loss, because there's way more extreme versions of that.
100%.
But I think it humbles you so much when you don't win stuff. And he had never lost anything, or like he's always gotten everything he's ever wanted. So he was just very arrogant and didn't understand that. So that kind of burned a bridge for me, where I was like, I don't want to associate myself with you really anymore, just because you don't really understand what the bigger picture is here and how to be generally nice to people. So, that. Otherwise, I've just very much been I don't know, someone
There
that just
was,
likes it. I really like to just do my own thing. That's just really what it is.
and that's the hardest part, I think, because, okay, so a majority of the women that I know through this program or who have been involved in pageants are,
They all have boyfriends.
one thing that we all have in common are that we're so motivated and ambitious.
Oh,
And that's one thing that I feel like a lot of guys are attracted to, but they can't always handle. Because, like, when I would, like, go to appearances, or I'd have, like, a weekend where I go to, like, a pageant or something, and they're like, oh, where are you going? Like, what are you doing? Are you busy? And I'm like, yeah, actually, I have, like, pageant stuff that I need to do. And some of them would actually get, like, a little bit salty about that.
There's
When I would
There's nothing worse so than when a girl brings her boyfriend to a pageant. They just hang over each other all the time.
Ew, I hate that.
It's
I
unprofessional.
I never brought Mitch to a pageant thing.
Third of all, it's you don't need to always be together.
I've never brought a guy to a pageant event, I don't think.
I don't think I have either.
No. But, like, the thing about it was, though, you have to be, when you're seeing a guy, or if you're, like, dating while you compete, you have to be very selective of who you bring around, like, this sort of realm, because it's like, it's attractive to guys because they see someone who's, like, successful and ambitious and motivated, and of course they want to show you off because, like, you're doing great things. But at the same time, they're, in some way, they're definitely doing it for themselves. It may be, like, a very selfish thing, and sometimes there will be guys that will, like, follow you around for your success, which is really annoying. Like, for me, and I realized this over the past couple of years, that I need someone who is just as motivated and ambitious to achieve their own goals and not just follow me while I'm trying to achieve mine.
Right.
And that's frustrating for me.
Right. And I think, too, it's hard, especially through college, because in Miss America, I think you're kind of forced to grow up faster than a normal college student. So I think it's hard. I don't really know how to word this in the right, quotation marks, right way, but I'm rubbing my temples right now on my forehead because I just am trying to figure out how to say this. It's hard. Like I said, you grow up faster than everybody else, and it's hard to see the bigger picture for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I think like platform work makes you see the bigger picture, and like I said, loss shows you the bigger picture. And most guys that I've, whatever, I don't really know, casually dated, I don't know, not like hookups, anything like that, but just like saw for a while, most of them were kind of intimidated by it. And we're just kind of like I said, they're attracted to strong or independent women, and then you kind of carry them.
Right. And that's annoying to me.
Right. But then the one guy who I talked about before, the outlier, basically, he was, always like, oh, I know that's what, I don't know how to word this because it just makes me tongue tied. Yes, he likes, the ambitious, whatever. But at the same time, it was kind of a power struggle because he saw himself as somebody who always did things like that. So then it was just kind of like, it was just
like you were butting heads back and forth. Yeah.
Yes. But again, he didn't see the bigger picture because he never experienced hardship or loss or something
I mean,
going
like,
his way.
That's the amazing thing about like being involved in this kind of stuff is that you are exposed to so many different kinds of people and so many different kinds of situations that you have no choice but to like open your eyes and see what's going on and learn about issues that are important. And there are some people that just will never understand that. And that's, I don't know, it's such a weird thing. Like when I was like working on interview prep and stuff and reading about current events and things, like I was forced to try and understand like a lot of different sides of situations or, understand a lot about different kinds of people who didn't come from where I came from or grow up the way that I did. And so that opened my eyes in a way. And it's frustrating. Not that it's anyone else's fault, but it's frustrating when you're dating someone or you're with someone a lot that doesn't understand those kinds of things.
Right.
So I feel like you definitely have to be careful with who you bring into this, because they have to be, I mean, you've got to really prepare them for what this kind of thing is and what it does for you. And they have to be ready to jump into that crazy world that this
is. I think
is.
it's hard. I think everyone needs something different. Like, I've known some girls who, like, their boyfriend is so involved with all of their MAO stuff, and they, you know, carry the bags, they do it all. And I'm somebody that, like, I don't want that. I just want somebody to be supportive, to come to the pageant, but like support me and not be, you know, and have, like you said, have their own crap together, basically. Yeah. Like, like me competing in Miss America should not be like the best thing of our relationship or like the biggest thing we do, you know?
Right.
That's just, and it's hard to find people that can understand it, people that are supportive, that they don't get jealous when you have to go do things, they don't get intimidated.
Right.
So it's hard.
It's so hard.
Right. And some guys want no part of it. Some guys want to be really involved.
Yep.
And
actually with my now ex, when I first, like, we were just kind of like getting to know each other and asking each other questions. And I asked him, I was like, how do you feel about pageants? This is before he knew that I was competing. And he was like, I think they're kind of stupid. Like, I've seen that Toddlers and Tiaras stuff on TV. Like, it's just really dumb. No. And I was like, then I had to break it to him. I was like, actually, like, I've competed for like a few years and it's not what you think it is. And I think he was like, oh, crap. But they soon understand and learn as they get more involved and see you be successful. But you really have to be careful about who you bring around, because you can't just bring around anyone. You can't just bring around someone that's going to follow you wherever you go, because that's not a man that you should strive for. I mean, you don't want a slave. You want someone who's equal.
I laugh because I look back and I think that like my high school boyfriends were actually better than the college ones about
honestly, isn't that so true though?
It is. It's really funny.
Oh, yikes.
But yeah, it's always awkward when people are like, oh, so like you do pageants, right? I think I talked about this in another episode. Like, I told you how I was in the bathroom one time. This was like months ago. And a girl was like puking in the toilet, and her friend came in and was like, oh my gosh, you're the girl who does pageants, right? And I'm like, ugh, that phrase. But, you know, people are like, oh, you do pageants, right? It's like, what do you say to that? Yeah, I guess. Like, and there's so much to explain that it's like, how do you come up with a very concise answer to, or like, so so tell me about that. It's like, where do I begin?
Like, exactly.
Dangerous podcast, episode 1, like. It's so hard.
It's so hard to explain because there's just so much to absorb. Like, there's like the preparation process, there's the competition itself, there's like what you get out of it. I mean, it's another world, and it's hard to bring people around it who have not been involved in it before. So I'm anxious to see how dating is going to be like when people look back at your old pictures now. Like, if you meet a guy and he sees like that you used to compete, I wonder what they're gonna say. Are they gonna be like, you're a pageant pony?
I feel you were. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think I should trademark that term.
Pageant
I don't know
pony?
Where I got that from. I literally was just like, what's an animal starts with a P? For my,
pony.
So it's my Instagram bio, and I've had it for like how many years? So I was like, what's a P? So I was like, oh, how about a pageant pony? So my caption was, or it used to be X dancer turned pageant pony, and then if I was not competing, I'd say currently in the stable, and then if I was competing, I'd say currently in the race. But now it says X dancer pageant pony and Crown and Dangerous co-host. Yeah, I was super into it. That was my favorite caption though. X dancer turned pageant pony. So maybe I'll come out of the stable again someday. Probably not, but
I mean, we could make a t-shirt out of that probably.
Yeah, but that's like it's like my little phrase. I don't want to share it.
We'll make one t-shirt for you.
But I am the pageant pony. It is my turn.
Not for sale.
Not for sale. I'm the pageant pony.
All right, should we wrap up?
Probably. I'm trying to think if we have any final thoughts. What did we learn from that segment? That's what I've been trying to think. I'm like, what have we learned?
We learned absolutely nothing. Be careful with who your tribe is, I guess. Embrace the people that support you on this crazy journey that you're on and who support your dreams, but you do have to be careful with who you let into this circle, I feel like.
Right. It's kind of funny. And it's funny too when you compete with different girls and you're like, oh, are you still with this person? They're like, nope, I'm with this person now. Like, it's just kind of funny. Like, the changing of the guard. It's kind of funny. And it's really funny. And I know, like, I've met a ton of, like, my friends' boyfriends through pageants because they're always there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you see them all the time, it's like one of your other friends. It's like, oh, hey.
They're always there.
You know? How was it?
Super weird.
Yeah. So I don't really know what
That's all we got.
you guys are going to take out of that. But if you have any crazy stories, send them in and we'll read them on our next show.
Please do. We love hearing from you. We'll get to that in a little bit, but let's head on over to our Would You Rather Crowned and Dangerous edition. We've got a doozy for you.
So, when you're
a doozy.
Would you rather skip your butt glue during swimsuit or forget or just not have a spray tan?
I would skip butt glue.
I think I would skip butt glue too. But it's hard though because, Jessica, you have like a nice little butt where it would stay nicely in a swimsuit. Whereas I've always just had a butt. Like, that just does not stay, that does not stay contained in a swimsuit.
And the thing about spray tans though, like, you don't have to get a spray tan to compete by any means.
No, but I feel comfortable when I get one.
I feel so much better in a spray tan because I am so pasty, and it really is a public service, honestly, because nobody wants to see me up on stage. Nobody wants to see my pasty, skinny little legs up on stage. So they got to be bronzed and beautiful. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I would have a spray tan every week if I could. I had a spray tan sponsor for my last title, and I would go in just all the time and just get spray tans.
I would love that. It was
so great.
I mean, maybe we can find a spray tan sponsor for the podcast. Wouldn't that be? That
would be so great. We would for sure video it then. Yes. Oh my god! So we both agree we would rather have spray tans and forget the butt glue. That to me though, it's really hard because my butt does not stay. Even when I do use butt glue, sometimes it's really hard for my butt to stay in my swimsuit.
It's one of those things where you would have to just like not turn around in swimsuit at all.
Exactly. So let's hope that wouldn't be a thing. Oof. But I would feel it bouncing around.
So this Would You Rather will be on our Facebook page, so you can chime in and let us know if you would skip your butt glue or if you would skip your spray tan. Let us know what you think, because I think these polls are always really funny to hear about. Let's move on to our crown cringe. We got this one, and it was it's a little gross, but it's also very funny. So this one says, my first year competing, we had a double pageant with 2 sets of judges. So it was a really long day, and we were changing constantly for different areas of competition. I was on my period that day, and as I was changing for swimsuit...
Oh my god, I cannot believe
my tampon string caught on my underwear, and it ended up on the floor of the dressing room. Luckily, a girl pointed it out to me so I could dispose of it. My period was light enough that I didn't need a tampon for the rest of the show, so I went without it to prevent a repeat occurrence of the runaway tampon.
This is so funny to me because if it was like you or like Mackenzie Clip or Hannah Ashbeck or like Elise or Gina, anybody that I'm really like around a lot, or like even my 2016 group, I would like literally laugh. Like if this was I'd literally be like, Jessica, and I would literally pick it up and throw it at you. Like it'd be fun. I'm not weirded out by like a lot of things. I'm a pretty open person.
Oh, no.
If it was a random person, I don't even know if I would, like, maybe I would tell them, but I also would just, like, want to, like, throw it away, because, like, I feel awkward, and I want to make I don't like making people feel embarrassed. Like, if somebody does something embarrassing, I act like I didn't see it. I act like I didn't hear it.
I know.
I just pretend like I don't know it happened.
Oh my God. Funny story. I heard someone fart the other day.
Jessica, I don't like talking about, like, this is the one thing I will not talk about, the F word. I don't like it. It doesn't exist.
Okay, we'll slide right past that.
Like poot or something. I heard someone poot.
Ew. I pooted. I hate that. I hate that so much. So yeah, this was a great crown cringe. So the person who submitted this wanted to remain anonymous, so I will respect that. I will respect that. But if you have any awkward or embarrassing moments, please send them over to us on Facebook or Instagram. Please let us know, because these are absolute gold. Let's finish up with what are you just like? I'm just gonna slide right past.
Step on it. You slip and fall.
Maddie. Ew. Could you imagine, like, walking into the dressing room and seeing a freaking tampon on the floor and sliding over it?
Like, I would start laughing, because, like I said, this stuff just makes me laugh, honestly. Like I said, if it was one of my friends, I would pick it up. I wouldn't care whose it was. I would throw it at them and be like, disgusting human.
Maddie, no. Oh my God.
It's funny, but we all...
I really wonder what it's going to be like to live together.
Well, we have separate bathrooms, so it's fine. I'm not going to throw a tampon at you. Unless you leave it laying around, then I will throw it on you.
I'll just leave it on the kitchen counter.
All right, so I think you said tips and tricks are next.
Oh my God.
Jessica. I'm going to read Jessica's tip and trick, because she keeps laughing. Okay. She said, start preparing for a pageant as soon as you decide to compete. It's never too early to start practice. Yeah, you can tell that tip is not from me, because I'm a procrastinator and I do things the day before. Jessica, I competed for a pageant like a day after, and I was with you, and I was like, I haven't reblocked my talent yet. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You're at the studio. I'm like, I haven't decided what this should be yet.
Yeah, you're like, I can't figure out what my dance is gonna look like. And it's literally the day before a freaking pageant.
It was different every time, honestly. Like, people would be like, oh, I didn't know.
I mean, but you're good at improving. You're good at, like, coming up with stuff on the spot, though. Like, you have enough dance experience, though, that I feel like I wouldn't be able to notice, like, if I were just an audience member. Whereas if it were me with zero technique experience, I'd literally just, like, flop around the stage. I wouldn't know what to do. But yeah, so this tip, I was thinking about this for a little while, because I think once you sign up for a pageant, you're in it. Like, there's no backing out. So why not start, kind of thinking about things and mapping things out and deciding on, your talent and starting to work on that and really, get developing your platform a little bit, because I think the sooner you start, the more clear your head will be on pageant day.
Right.
At least that's from, like, my experience, I feel like.
I think, just to quick wrap this up, I think my trick, because I am a procrastinator, what really helped me was one day I took a notebook and I just looked up a bunch of stuff on my platform, and I really mapped out, like, really big things to me and important things, and I got really fired up about it. So that's kind of where my passion for my platform started, just by writing a bunch of statistics, saying, like, what it means to me, journaling, which, like, so many people are like, you should really journal, and it's during your
it's so
year,
helpful, though, honestly.
It is. Like I said, with my platform, it was really good for me, and, like, talking points and things like that. But there's that. But we should probably wrap this little shingdang up.
We probably should. We've been talking for an hour.
It's been pretty therapeutic.
Over an hour. This has been a real great time. If you've made it this far, bless you.
Right on.
Bless you. So we will wrap this up, but be sure to follow Public House Media and Crowned and Dangerous on Instagram. We love when you guys comment on our pictures and things. It's really fun. You can also head on over and like us on Facebook as well. This is where our links to merch and our polls and stuff are going to be, and also links to our new episodes. So go and like us on Facebook and be sure to follow along. You can also subscribe and rate and review the show wherever you're listening. So if you're on Spotify or iTunes or wherever, click out of this podcast when we're done in just a hot sec and give us a little rating and let us know that you're listening. And you can also just comment and email us or slide into our DMs because we just genuinely like hearing from you. And you guys always have the best stories. So we love that.
Love you. Thank you. But we will be back in 2 weeks on November 29th for a new episode. This has been Maddie and Jess reminding you to always wear your invisible crown, keep it real, and if you do not know what to say, world peace.
Bye.